friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Jackie and let's get started. For DIY number 1, I'm going to take 2 of these round gift boxes from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to go in with my finger utility knife, or you can use any kind of sharp implement, and you're going to cut a good 3 inches or so piece off of the side of these boxes, and you're going to do it to both boxes like this. So now I'm going to take the pieces that I cut off and I'm going to add some hot glue, and I'm going to use this to reinforce the 2 pieces together. Just join them together like this. So now they're joined for the most part, and I'll add some more glue on the inside, and now I'll take the other piece that I had left and I'll cut that in half, and I'll use this to reinforce the 2 sides, the 2 inside like edges. So one here and then one on this other side, and that'll give it a nice secure basis. So now we can, oh, and I also add some more hot glue on the inside. Yeah, like that. So see, so now it's nice and secure. And I'm going to take 2 of these tumbling tower blocks, and on the underside I'm going to hot glue them to the bottom as kind of like stands or feet, just to help keep this Yule log still like this, just to anchor it. And now I'm going to put on some gloves, and I'm going to go in with some of the Dollar Tree Spackle. Fun times. Yeah, this stuff is fun. Okay, so here I am placing all this spackle on here, all on the outside, so it looks like this. But in hindsight, I should have painted first, because now I'm having to go in with paint and get all the spots that were not covered. So once it's all painted, then I'm going to go in with some of the apple barrel nutmeg acrylic paint, and with a brush, not too saturated but not too dry, I'm going to go in and cover all the surfaces, and just lightly till it looks like this. I don't want to do a full coverage. I just want to get all the details on here. And so all the spackle has this wonderful texture now. Look at that. So pretty. Make sure to get the underside and the tumbling tower blocks. And now I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Hazelnut. And I'll do the same thing just to add another tone, another natural tone to this Yule log, because Yule logs, they're not just 2 tones, they're various tones. So this just helps to give it another little tone. And you can do as many tones you like. You can add a little bit of green if you want it to look a little mossy, or you can add some more or a different color brown. This is your Yule log. You do what you like with it. Make it look cute. So here I am doing around this on the sides as well. And look how cute it's looking. So cute. Okay, so now I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to cut some floral foam, and I'll place it inside. I'll hot glue it to secure it inside. And now all I have to do is add my florals. And so I'll go in with some of these garland ties. And I like these wired garland ties because they are flexible and you can place them wherever you like. I don't hot glue them. I just kind of place them in there like this. That way I can adjust them as I need to. So now once I have these in place, now all I have to do is add my other florals, and I'll do some berries, some pine cones, and some other greenery. And I'll just fill it up because we want this to look really full. And now you can just kind of adjust everything because you don't want to show that there's a hole there. You just want it to look natural. And that is it. Look at this, so cute. You can add whatever you like in these Yule logs, and they're perfect for your holiday table. Beautiful. What do you guys think? For DIY number 2, I'm taking one of these triangular shadow boxes from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use a set of these silver bells. And you can use any color bells, you can actually paint the bells too, but I'm going to create a graduated bell triangle. And I'm going to create some markings on the sides of the triangle to drill through some holes. And so the measurements are going to be 1 5/8, 3 1/2, 5 1/4, and 7 inches. So like this. These are my measurements for this particular triangle, just so I can have 4 rows of bells, and they'll fit perfectly. So now I'll go in with my drill and create the holes, just real quick like this, and I'll do it to all, I'll try to say both sides. I'll do both sides this way until they all have the holes like this. And now I'll just take some sandpaper just to smoothen out any splinters or anything that's left over from the drilling process. And now that it's nice and drilled and nice and smooth and ready to go, now I'm going to go in with some white chalk paint, and this is just some extra paint that I had on hand. And so I'm going to paint this whole little triangle until it looks like this. And now I'm going to take my bells and I'm going to arrange them how I'd like in a triangle pattern. So 4 on the bottom, 3, and then 2, and then 1. And I'm taking some jute twine and I'm going to snip off the end, add a little piece of Scotch tape just to make it a little bit more sharp and easy to thread through. And I'll thread all the bells in one spot, or should I say on one jute twine, just because it's easier this way. I mean, you can definitely do 4 rows of jute twine, but I just went ahead and did them all in one row, and then I'll get some slack and snip off what I need as I go, if that makes sense. So you can see here's my 1, so I go ahead and snip that off, and that was in place. Now I'll get a little bit more slack and place 2 in the next row, snip off, and then get 3, place that in their spot and snip that off, and then my last 4 on the bottom and snip that off. Give it enough allowance so you can do knots on the sides. So here I'm going to poke with this piece of it's actually a piece of a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and or if you don't have that, you can always use a toothpick or a bamboo skewer, and that's just to poke through any paint that might be blocking the hole, because you want a nice free hole there to put your jute twine back through. So like this, and you can use your little toothpick or bamboo skewer to help you poke that through. So here's the first one done, and now I'll do the same to the second one, and then I do the same to the third and the fourth until it looks like this. So now just stretch the jute twine as much as you can and make a knot on one side. Try not to pull the other jute twine out of the other hole. Make a double knot, triple knot, whatever you need, so the jute twine won't go through. And then do the opposite end. Make sure you pull it taut so you can have a nice straight and tight jute twine rope. And so just keep doing this process until you get them all done like this. And now it's time to do a little bit of embellishing, and so I'm just taking this little piece that I had left over from another project that I used the ornament for, and I just had this little bow left over that's got a little bit of evergreen. So I'm just going to hot glue it on here onto the top corner, and you can do a star, you could do anything you want on the top corner, but since I had this on hand, I just decided to use it. And now all I'm going to do is completely secure this little ribbon in place, and that is it. And also you can add scrapbooking paper or fabric on the inside of this little triangle, make it look super cute. You can rest up the bells, and we'll see the final look on this in a minute. Okay, DIY number 3. I'm going to take another one of these little triangle shadow boxes, and this time I'm going in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Ocean, which I think the color is so beautiful. And I'm just going to paint the inside of this piece. That's all I'm going to paint. And now I'm just taking some white chalk paint, and with the end of my brush, the very bottom end, I'm just going to create little dots to simulate stars in the sky. So some can be thicker, some can be small, teeny tiny. Just do a variety of sizes to help simulate the nighttime sky. and Bethlehem. Yeah, look at this, so cute. So once I'm all done with that, then I'm taking a variety of pebbles, also from the Dollar Tree. And you want to use ones that are thin, that are flat. Now they could be bigger, they could be smaller, any size you want, just to form the Holy Family. But the flatter ones work best. So here I'm just going to place them as I want. And I'll just set those aside for a second while I create my little star. So I couldn't find a star at the store when I needed it for this DIY. So I'm going to create my own with one craft stick. And I'm just using my miter shears to create a bunch of little triangles. And I'll just create a bunch of little triangles and then go ahead and glue them together to create a little star. So right here, it's a little teeny tiny triangle, two mid-sized ones onto a larger one. And here is my star. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Okay, and I painted it white. Okay, now I'm ready to start assembling. So I'll go ahead and start placing my bigger rocks. This will be Joseph. So I'll put his body down first, make sure the head's gonna fit right. Then go ahead and adhere the head. And now I'll take my flat stone that will be representing the manger, and I'll put that there, make sure that's going to be enough space for it, and Mary's head and her body. So now I can go ahead and adhere it. Gotta make sure everything fits just right. I hate to hot glue it and then something doesn't fit right. That would be not fun. Okay, so now here I'm just going to add her head, and so far so good. Add the little manger part of it on the bottom, and then of course little baby Jesus right on top. So here it is, nice little cute shaped stone to represent him, and it's looking so cute. So now I'll go ahead and adhere my star, and then I'll show you at the end. I do end up finding a star at the Dollar Tree, so I do end up switching it out, but this still looks cute. Looks really really organic and unique. Yeah. Okay, so here I'm feeling like it's looking a little bare, so I'm adding a little bit of raffia just to simulate the hay, and I'll just keep adding until it looks like this. So now here I have it nice and full, and I just go ahead and give it a little trim just so it'll look nice and neat and get everything looking cute. And that is it. But like I mentioned, I did go back and change the star, and I also added a metal word that says joy to look like this. What do you guys think? For DIY number 4, I'm going to take some jute twine, and I'm just going to snip off a couple of strands the same length, just real quick like this. And I'm going to take a little piece of Scotch tape to put on the end to create a point. It'll be a makeshift needle so I can thread some beads through it. And I'm going to use some of the Dollar Tree colorful ones, the red ones and some green ones. And I'm also going to take some of these brown ones, also from the Dollar Tree, but in the hair section. And I'll also go in with some of the natural, just regular natural ones from Amazon. And so now I'll just begin to thread them through my jute twine until they look like this. And now I'm going to tie the two ends together to create two circles. These will be ornaments. And so I'll make sure to create a double knot so they don't slip and get untied, be nice and secured. And now I'll go in with some of these cute little red truck ornaments, and I'll just place them in the centers of my little circles of wooden beads, and I'll adhere it together with the jute twine that's extra on the top. So I'll just make a double knot if I can, or a single knot's fine, because we'll be adding a bow as well. And now I'll flip them over, and I will add a couple beads of glue to the actual little trucks, to the wood beads, just to give it a little bit more secureness on the back, like this. And now all I have to do is add my little bow on top, which I create from some Dollar Tree ribbon with the little trucks, of course, appropriately enough. So here I'm just gonna make quick little bows, and I'll make two, and I'll add them. I'll just secure it with some hot glue, and that is it. Super cute. What do you think? For DIY number 5, it's going to be more of a quick hack, and I'm just taking one of these foam Dollar Tree ornaments and one of these wide angle lenses for your cell phone, for the smartphones, and I'm going to take the little cap and I'm going to press it in the side of the ornament to form the circle that I need to cut out. And with my finger utility knife, I'll cut it out real quick. And this is made out of styrofoam, so it's easy to cut. It's not plastic or anything like that. Just very decorative. Just make sure it's foam. That's easier. So now I'm taking the little lens, and it took a little finagling to pop it off. I even tried using a screwdriver, but no, my best tool was my hands. Just kept pulling it, and finally it just popped off like that. Okay, so now I'm just popping it in there, but I need to remove more of the styrofoam that's inside. So I'll go in with my little knife again and remove some more of the styrofoam just to make that circle a little deeper, and now it fits perfect. And now I'm just going to add a nice glob of glue on the inside and place my little lens on the inside. And now I'm just going to finish off the edges because it looks like it's been cut. So I'm taking a chenille stick, one of the red ones, to go with the ornament, and of course you choose whatever color you need for whatever ornament you chose. And here I snipped off enough and just placed a bead of glue on the ornament and placed a chenille stick on there, and that is it, just to help finish off where the lens got inserted inside the ornament. So now once I have that done, now I'm going to do a little bit of embellishing. I want to give it a little bow just to make it look really cute. So now I'm going to go in with some of this gingham ribbon. It's the black and red check ribbon, but it's the gingham. It's not the big buffalo check. But this is really cute. So I'm just going to cinch it into a bow shape and tie it with a twist tie and snip off the excess and just hot glue it in place at the top of my ornament. Now here you have a variety of choices you can do. You can write on there Santa Cam, you can write the child's name, children's names, Merry Christmas, or any kind of message you would like to put on there. But for video purposes, I just decided to use these stickers, and I'm just going to take two letters, S and C, for Santa Cam. And that is it for this one, and we'll see the final look in a little bit. Okay, on to DIY number 6. I'm taking another one of these triangle shadow boxes and some of this beautiful fabric from the Dollar Tree, really pretty Christmas print. And I'm going to measure how much fabric I need, and I'm using my little roller cutter, rotary cutter, to kind of cut it off. These little rotary cutters, they work really well. So here I have my little piece, and I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge, and I'm going to use the dishwasher safe one. It's the one I like to use, and I'm just going to brush the inside of it with the Mod Podge, and I'm doing a pretty generous coating on it. And I'm going to place my fabric inside like this, and then I'll add some more Mod Podge to seal it all up. And now I'm going to go in with some of this really pretty Christmas pom-pom ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to add a little dab of glue on the inside bottom portion of this triangle and add the little piece of ribbon to it, and then I'll go up on the other side, opposite side, but just a little higher, and adhere it there, reinforce it a little bit with more glue, and then I'll just go up. I'll keep going up in this manner in a very whimsical pattern like zigzagging up like this, and then I'll add another little bit going up. This is like a continuous piece of ribbon. So I'll keep adding and keep going in the zigzag motion up, and I'll do one more to go up here, and then here's where I'll snip it off, and I'll just adhere that last little bit on there. And look how cute. It's a cute little tree. Okay, so now I'm going to take some of these pom-poms in the same color scheme, in the traditional red, white, and green. And I'm taking the mid-sized little pom-poms. They're the perfect size for this. And I'm just going to adhere little dabs of glue and just placing them strategically wherever I think would look cute. Like this. Really cute. Look at this. So cute. Okay, and so now that I have that done, right here, now I'm going to add a believe metal word, and here I'm adhering it with some hot glue, but yes, don't do that. Please don't do that. This fell off like the next day. Definitely go in with some E6000 or crazy glue whenever you use these metal words. And now I'm just going to go in with a little star just to put on top, and this was from the Dollar Tree, and this is it. And this is the final look for these last, I think. For DIY number 7, I am taking some of this jute twine from Walmart and some of this nautical rope from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to take the nautical rope and pull it apart and unravel it. So here I'm taking off the end. This one here was 11 feet long, and I'll just continue to unravel it until I have 3 bunches of this rope. But I end up using just 2. So I'll put one away and use 2. So here I'm taking this container that we had. It's a trash to treasure. It's a container of a powdered drink mix that we like in our household, and I'm just going to add a little dab of glue and place one end of one of my strands of nautical rope, and then beside it I'll add another dab of glue, and I'll add a strand of the jute twine. This is the thicker one from Walmart, and now I'm just going to go around the container to wrap it up in this jute twine and rope till it looks like this. And look at this. This is going to be a little cookie jar. It's going to be a little snowman cookie jar. So I'll put my lid back on, and here I have 2 smaller lids from 2 other containers. They were a different kind of drink mix, and I'm just going to hot glue them together. I'll add a bead of glue and hot glue them together like this. And so this is going to be part of my top hat for my snowman cookie jar. So yeah, if you have this kind of stuff lying around, there's lots of possibilities, because this one is going to be a snowman cookie jar. Really cute. Okay, so here we are, nice and ready. And now I'm going to add some glue and adhere this top part to my lid up top. So add lots of glue, and then here, kind of put it on top, center it. Look, it's looking like a little top hat. Really cute. So now I'm taking this wide ribbon that I have, that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. And I kind of wish I would have had a thinner ribbon, but this is all I had at the moment that I liked, that I wanted for this project. So I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to make do with what I have. And I really like the fact that it's red and white, so that was a deciding factor for me. So I'm just going to wrap it around my little jar, and I'm going to adhere it with some hot glue like this. Look how cute. Kind of make it look like the scarf. Yeah, look at that. So I'm just going to add the hot glue here, place it down, and add another little bit of hot glue there, place it down, and now it's time to do some more embellishing. And with that same ribbon, I'm going to add a little piece to the hat just to help conceal the seam that I had 2 lids become the 1 lid. So I'm just going to add a little dab of glue here and there and wrap it around the whole top of his hat. Look at that, just to give it a nice finished look. and it coordinates with his scarf. Super cute. And now we're going to embellish the little hat with a little snowflake. And this is just one of the little wood pieces from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to leave it natural to go with the jute twine and the rope. And look how adorable. And now I'm going to give them little eyes, and these are just push pins, and I'm basically just going to push them through all the rope, jute twine, and plastic. They go in just right. And I'm going to use some more to give him the buttons to his little abdomen. Look how adorable. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. And I'll use the same ones to give him a little smile. I'll start at the middle and work my way up on both sides like this. And I'll put a little gold one in the center, which later I'll paint up for his nose. And now I'm going to go in with some of these DIY stickers. They have the little mittens. I thought that they would be so cute. The only problem is that they are the same direction. So it fits well on one side, but then on the other side it would look odd. So I just took a black pen and I created the same pattern that's on the mittens on the other side, on the inside of this little wood piece. So here I have it nice and adhered, and you'll see, you'll get a better look in a minute how it all looks together. And here I just added little dabs of glue just to keep everything in place. And look at this, it's so cute. Look, his little hat opens up. Yeah, you could put cookies in there for the kids or hide mama's chocolate. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay, he's looking cute. He just needs his nose fixed. His little nose is not supposed to be gold, it's supposed to be orange. So I'll go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin. And just with a tiny little brush, I'll just paint it orange real carefully. And then that is it. He is done. Super cute. What do you guys think? For DIY number 8, I'm taking 2 of these little wooden truck forms with the little trees on them, and I'm going to remove one of the trees off one of the trucks and one door and 2 fenders. So here it's going to take a little effort. Just take your scraper and just go under it and just keep pushing and pressing until it just pops off. And if it tears up a little bit like this one did, that's okay, we'll fix it. So you're going to end up with one truck with the tree and one without. And so the one with the tree, we're going to remove the door as well and the 2 fenders. And just take your time and pry it in there and remove it like this. And now the fenders, they are a little bit more delicate. This one broke off quite a bit and this one did too. But again, you'll see how we'll fix it. It's wood, so it can always be fixed with wood filler or glue or what have you. So now I'm going to go in with some of this white chalk paint, and just like that, I'm going to paint it all up. And I'll paint everything except for the wheels and the one tree that's left. So now I'm going to flip over the truck that's got the tree, and I'm going to add the little door back on. As you can see, I painted both sides of the door just to make sure. And so now I'm going to add some glue and I'm going to adhere it to the door space like this. So this little truck is going to be a 3D truck. It's going to be, you're going to have a side on both sides, front and back. So all 4 sides. Would that be 40? I don't know. You guys tell me. I don't know. So now I'm placing my fender back on, and I'm just going to glue it with hot glue, match it up, and it looks pretty good to me. Now I'm going to add the other fender, same way. I'm just going to add the glue and place it where it's supposed to be. This one's a little trickier because the tree is kind of in the way, but I just work around it. and add the other piece that broke off, and that is it. So now I'm going to flip the little truck back around, and now I'm going to go in with some of this Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, and I'm going to paint up the little tree. And I wanted to use a lighter shade of green for this little tree because I was going for more of a neutral kind of look on this project. So look, it's really cute. Now I'm going to go in with some of these tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to use these brown ones, these older packs that used to come in a couple years ago or a year ago. They had these brown tumbling tower blocks, and I thought they were perfect because you don't have to paint them. So I'm just going to place them on the top edge of the little truck bed because this will become the bed of the truck. And I think I used about 6 of them, and I just continue to adhere them together until they look like this. Look how cute. Okay, so now I need to add my other piece, my other wood plaque, and here I'm putting a beaded glue on the side edge of the tumbling tower blocks. Don't do that. That's a no-no. That's a mishap here. No, this needs to go on top of the bed like the other one did. So here I'm showing it wrong, but I do fix it in a little bit. But yeah, here I'm noticing, okay, this is not right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have to show you my mistakes because I don't want you guys to make these mistakes. And here I'm taking 4 craft sticks and I'm going to cut them down to create the little wagon part of the little truck. So I'm just cutting off the rounded edges. And now I'm going to go in with some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color truffle and paint them like this. Now I can start to add these to my little truck, and I'm just going to add a bead of glue and start placing them on the side of the truck to look like the wagon. So we're building a wagon now. Okay, so now that my truck is the way it's supposed to look like and my little bed is correct, it's on top of the wood, not on the side of the wood. Now we're ready to build the wagon part. So here I'm just adding these 2 pieces parallel to each other, and I'm going to add a couple pieces on the back to create the tailgate. And here I'm sped it up a little bit because this took a little bit of time, but I just keep adding pieces so I can make the wagon a little higher because we need this to be a little higher. You'll see why in a minute. And I'll just continue to add these craft sticks all the way around the truck, completely around, even on the other side where the tree is. So now I'm going to go in with some of these jumbo craft sticks, and these are from Walmart, and I'm going to cut them in about 2-inch pieces, and I'm going to cut quite a few. I don't remember how many, but yeah, I just kept cutting quite a few of these little 2-inch pieces. And you can go a little bit more if you want. You can make your truck a little bit wider if you want. I didn't, just because of the bed of my truck. I went with the tumbling tower blocks width, or should I say height, which became the width. So now I'm just going to use these little pieces of craft sticks, of the jumbo craft sticks, and I'm going to go all the way around the truck to give it the complete frame. And I'm just going to use some hot glue and just start adhering them, cut them down if I need to with my scissors, and just keep gluing and going and gluing and going and gluing and going and trimming until I get it to look like this. And now I'm going to go in with some sandpaper and I'm going to sand up all the edges, make sure that everything is nice and even and that there's no splinters, no rough spots. And now I'm taking some wood filler and I'm going to fill in all the little gaps where all the pieces of craft stick were joined together until it's nice and formed. And I'm going to take some more sandpaper and smooth it all up, get it nice and smooth to look cute. And look at this, this is going to be so adorable. And now with the same white chalk paint, I'm going to paint up the rest of the truck and 2 of these foam blocks. And now I'm going to take a piece of this wired garland tie and I'm going to give it a little trim. It's a little too bushy for my little wreath form that I'm trying to create. And now I'm taking some of these little white berries to help embellish my little wreath form. So here I'm just going to add them real quick, just 4 little berries. It's going to be so cute in front of my little truck. And now I'm going to create a little bow with this gingham, this black and white gingham ribbon, and create a cute little bow and snip off the excess and hot glue it to my little wreath form. Look how adorable. And now all I have to do is add this to my little truck. And here's my little truck, nice and painted white. And I'm going to place the little wreath form on front. And now I'm going to go in with some of my black chalk paint and paint the two wheels black like this. And now I'm going to go back in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle to do a light dry brush all over the truck. I'll go around the doors and the fenders and the hood of the truck, the top, all of it on both sides until it looks like this. Super cute. Look at this, so cute. Okay, so now I'm not liking the way the wheels are looking, so I'm taking some of these little dot stickers from the Dollar Tree and I'm taking a white chalk marker and I'm just going to paint them white, and I'm just going to place them in the center of the wheels as the rims of the wheels. So yeah, just something real simple, like just putting that on there. Try to go as center as possible, and I'll do this on both sides. And look, and now I'm going to add some numbers to my little blocks that I painted white, and these will be for the countdown calendar. And now I'm taking the other tree that I didn't use and I cut off a little edge so it'll fit where I want it, and I'm going to go in with some more of this moss paint by Waverly, and I'm going to use this and add some of this white berry garland. I'm going to wrap the tree with some of this white berry garland as an embellishment just to make it look festive. And again, I'm going for a neutral look, so that's why I'm using white only. So I'm just going to kind of form it on there and wrap it around. Just enough embellishments just to make it look simple and cute. And now I'm going to adhere this to the front of the other tree because I built my wagon a little too high and you can't see the tree with the number blocks in there. And it's perfect for me, super cute. And now for DIY number 9, I am taking this little bird feeder kit. It's all wood and some little glue. And I'm just going to take some of these pieces and I'm going to cut them down to create like a graduated form, which will be a Christmas tree form. And now I'm going to go in the Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, and I'm going to paint all these pieces, and I'm going to go in with the Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle to paint this rectangular piece that will be the base of my tree. And I'm going to dry brush the other pieces as well. Now I can begin to assemble my little tree, and I'm just going to hot glue everything in place and place the whole tree on the little stand. Oh, and I do add a little star to the very top, and I don't show it, but I do take some of the little stickers to add a sweet little message that just says, "Have a very Merry Christmas." Super cute. Look at this, out of a little bird feeder. Oh my goodness. What do you guys think? For DIY number 10, I am taking these party hats. I'm just going to use 2. And I'm also going to use one of these mini tree skirts. I really like it because it's the black and red buffalo check. And I'm removing the elastic on the hats. I don't need them. And I'm going to wrap each hat in some of this tree skirt fabric. And since the shape is perfect for it, look at that. It's like a marriage made in heaven. So just hot glue it and form it and adhere it, and look at that, it just fits perfectly. Yes. So I'm going to fix the top in a little bit, and I'm going to do the other one as well. The other one doesn't work as perfectly. I cut it a little short, but I do remedy it a little bit later, and you'll see that. You can always remedy anything really when you're crafting. Definitely you can remedy anything. So here you see where it's a little bit short on the bottom. Not too bad, but just a little bit, but we'll fix it later. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere the top of it, fold it up, and make the famous little point that we need so it'll look nice and finished. Snip off the excess and add some more glue if we need to, like this, and do the same to the second one as well. Get it nice and finished looking like this. Make the point. Really cute. And now I'm going to take a mop head, and this is just regular mop head, and I'm going to start removing these strands. They're a little bit tight in there, so I just figured just pulling a few strands at a time, and then eventually you can pull the whole thing out. Okay, so now with these strands, we're going to unravel them. And yeah, this is a little bit of a challenge, but hey, you can unravel them. So we're going to have 2 bundles of approximately 80 strands each. And you're going to gather them together and fold them in this manner. And then we're going to take one of these foam dice, and we're going to hot glue the strands onto this foam dice, and you're going to take it to the sides as well to give it a full coverage. We don't want to see any orange. I mean, if you're worried about it, you can always paint the dice white, but I knew I was going to do a full coverage, so I wasn't going to worry about it. So look at that. So cute. Okay, so now this poor little thing, we're going to use this little paw to create the nose for the gnome. Yes. So I just snipped off his little paw and just added some hot glue and put it inside the hat, and look, little nose. Now we do the second one, same thing. Put the strands on the foam dice and put it on both sides as well for full coverage. We're going to snip off another little paw for his nose like this, and just add some hot glue to close up the gap. And so now we'll just place the little hat on him and adhere the little nose with some hot glue up under his hat. So look at him, so cute. Oh my goodness. And now we'll remedy the back of the little hat that was a little bit short. So we'll just take a little piece of the fabric and some hot glue and just patch it up like this. Really super quick and simple. And now to have it stand, we're going to sit it on one of these candle holders, and that is it. What do you guys think? For DIY number 11, I'm going to use these mid-size foam blocks and then these tiny little ones from the teaching tree of the Dollar Tree. And so I'm going to use 8 of the mid-size ones and 24 of these smaller ones that are joined together in 2s. So I'm going to take the 2s and join 2 together with 2 to create 4. So a little grouping of 4, and I'll do this to all the smaller blocks till I have 6 and 8. And I'll go in with the apple barrel paint flamenco red, and once they're all painted and dry, I'm going to start assembling my little blocks in the manner I want, like this. And so now I'm going to go in with some of these stencils from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use the bigger stencils for the bigger blocks, and then these smaller stencils for the smaller blocks. So I'll just take a block and I'll just take a letter. So I'll use some white apple barrel paint and my little pouncer, and I'll start to stencil the letters onto these big blocks, the bigger blocks, and then I'll use the little square stencil letters onto the little blocks like this until I get them all done. And so here they are. Now I'm not liking the way that they're broken. The letters are kind of like broken because they're stencils, so I'm going to use my little detail brush and fix it like this. And here they are all assembled. Now I'm taking one of these candy cane signs, and I really like the candy cane pattern on the sides of it, so I'm going to go in with some of the same red flamenco red paint from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to paint the top of this candy cane lane sign like this. And so now I'm going to place all my little blocks on top of this piece, and I'm going to go ahead and glue it because with grandchildren in the house, I can see this being a little bit interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing everything in place. It'll look super cute without the huge mess, maybe them losing something, I don't know. So I'm just going to continue to glue these all in place until they look like this. So now I'm not liking the way the top looks like this. It's all like broken up. So I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with a little bit of ribbon. And I picked up some of this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It goes with the candy cane theme. So I'm just going to take it and adhere it to the whole top of this whole little setup just to give it that finished look. And so I'll just begin on one end and add a little dab of glue, adhere it, and form it to all the blocks like this until it's all completed, and it looks like this, really cute, all finished and super cute. And now I'm going to go in with some more of this same candy cane stripe ribbon to form a bow, and I'll also add a few of these large berries to it and some evergreen, and that's it. Look how cute it looks, super cute. What do you guys think? For DIY number 12, I'm taking 2 of these really cute frames from the Dollar Tree with the wooden beads on top. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. And I'm just going to pop off the backs. And I'm going to go in with this Crafter Square black and red buffalo plaid fabric. And I'm going to use some of the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. And I'm doing a nice generous amount, placing my fabric squares on top, trimming off the excess, and adding some more Mod Podge on top to secure everything and have everything nice and finished like this. So once that's done, I'm just going to pop these back in. This is a really simple one, and all I'm going to do now is just add some embellishments, and I'm going to use some of these really cute little truck ornaments, and I'm going to pop off the little hangers. I don't need it. Add a couple of tumbling tower blocks on the back to help the trucks pop out a little bit like this. And I'm also going to take one of these little campers. This one doesn't need a tumbling tower blocks because it's pretty much thick as it is. It's thick enough. So now I'm going to add some of these cute little trees and just adhere them to the sides. And look how cute! Oh my goodness, this is so easy and so cute. You can embellish these little shadow box frames any way you want. And I did add a couple other little embellishments to these. I added some snowflakes and a little gift for the little truck to carry, and that is it. What do you guys think? Super cute. For DIY number 13 should really be a hack because all I'm going to do is take my favorite Dollar Tree ornaments, and it's these with the sweater looking print on them, and I'm taking some of these alligator clip greenery and just basically putting them on there, and that is it. Super cute, super easy, and look at that, a total upgrade. Beautiful. What do you guys think? For DIY number 14 and 15, I am doing a snowman scene, and so I'm going to begin with one of these tinseled snowmen, and I'm going to unravel it and remove all the tinsel, and I'm going to save the eyes and the nose. The nose just screws right off. It's really easy. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these Clean Life cleaning cloths, and I'm just going to cut it down to size. I'm going to just kind of guesstimate how much I need and cut it, and I'm going to hot glue it to the body of the snowman like this, and it's going to be in parts because first I'll get the body done and then I'll do the head. So here I'll go ahead and add some glue, and I'll put them together right here, and just pull as tightly as you can once you get this glue on, so it's a nice tight snug fit. Add a couple dabs of glue here and there just so it'll be nice and secured, and then of course one and a couple here at the end until you get it all like this. Then I went ahead and snipped a little bit just so I can contour the pieces to the body like this, and I also did on the other side. I did remove a little bit more of the cloth up top. It was a little bit too much, but that's easy to do. It's always easier to remove than it is to put back. So here I'm just removing a little bit more and finishing up with contouring this other part of his torso right here. And here I use my silicone spatula just so I don't get burnt, although this cloth is pretty thick, so it works really well. And so now here I'm doing another piece for the head. Same thing. This will probably be in more pieces just because the piece of cloth is not as long as the other piece was, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be all covered up anyway. So I'm just going to keep working this, and here I'm using my needle nose tweezers to poke a hole where the nose is supposed to go so I don't lose my spot. And just to make sure I don't lose my spot, I'm just going to do a little dot with a marker. That way I can find it again. So here I'm going to add some more glue and continue to cover his little head with this cloth. And add more glue. Make sure everything's nice and secure, and pull so it's nice and tight. And here I decide to stick a little toothpick inside of his nose so I make sure I don't lose my spot, because that little carrot's going back. So now here I'm just going to finish up and add in a little piece to the back. And again, like I mentioned, you're not going to see all this being mended. It's all going to be covered up. So here I'm liking the way it's looking. So on to the next step. And now I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to slather the stuff all over the cloth. I mean, really soak it up. Just really be generous with it and give it a good generous coat all the way around. Wherever the cloth is, add some Mod Podge like this. And once it's all covered, before it dries, we're going to go in with some Spackle. And this is going to be the Dollar Tree Spackle that we're going to use. And we're going to cover up this little snowman completely with this Spackle, just like this. And now we can set it aside so it'll dry. And in the meantime, we'll work on our little tree. And this was a little tree that was full of tinsel as well, and I removed the tinsel. And so now I'm going to go in with these garland ties, these wired garland ties, and I'm just going to simply wrap this little tree with these garland ties like this. And I'll just continue this process until it's all covered up like this. And now I'm going to go in with some of this berry garland, and so I'm going to use the red one and the white one. And all I'm simply going to do is take these and wrap these around the tree to give it that decorated look. Just so cute. So just literally just take it up to the top and spiral it down to the bottom and secure it, because this is wired, so it's easy to do. And here I didn't have enough, so I just added another little piece. Super simple to use. And here's the white one. I'll do the same thing, and I'll just follow the same direction. Just go a little lower, but you can decorate it as you like, of course. And then I'll just secure it to the back, and it's looking cute. So now all it needs is a little star. And so I'm taking the little star from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put a little dab of hot glue and place my little star. And this tree is done for now, so we can put it aside and we can work on our shadow box for our little scene. So here I'm taking this really cute fabric. It's a craft fabric from the Dollar Tree, and it looks like it has snowflakes on it. It's really cute. And I'm going to be using this shadow box also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to set it on top of the fabric. And with my rotary cutter, I'm just going to cut the piece that I need. So I'll cut it like this. Now, when you cut it like this, the inside is a little bit shorter than the outside. So here you can see that I can't fit it in there. It's too much. So I'm having to just trim a little bit. but that's okay. We can do that. We have scissors. So I'm just trimming the little piece that I don't need, and it's going to fit a little bit better. So now I'm going to go in with some of this white chalk paint and just paint the inside of the frame. And I actually do a full coat of the whole frame, but here you're only going to see the inside. And allow that to dry. And once that's dry, then I'll go in with some of the Mod Podge, and I'll coat a nice generous amount on the inside of this little shadow box. And I will place my piece of craft fabric inside like this. Press all the edges, make sure the corners get nice and sealed up. Don't want those things to come up, that would be very annoying. So smooth it out, press the corners especially, and let that dry. And I didn't show it, but I did add another layer of Mod Podge on top of the craft fabric. Okay, so back onto the snowman. The snowman is nice and dry, and here I'm taking this tree skirt. It's a mini tree skirt from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to snip off enough of this tree skirt to create a little hat for my little snowman. So here I'm just going to wrap it around his little head and pulling it tight and adding glue the same manner as I did with that washcloth or that cleaning cloth. And so here I'm just going to keep adding glue and pulling it, tugging it, fitting it until I get it to look like a little hat like this. And now I'll do the very top, and these little fuzzies that are everywhere, we're going to utilize those little fuzzies. Those little fuzzies were kind of like challenging me, but we're going to use them. Yes, we are. So here's the rest of the little hat. We just have to cut a piece that's a little bit too large, fold it in place, and hot glue it until it looks like this. Okay, so now the little fuzzies are everywhere. I don't know if you can see them, but we're going to utilize those little fuzzies. So here, here I need to adhere the top of his hat to his head and make sure it doesn't come up. And I'm just going to tug it down, and there it is. Okay, so now I'm picking up all the little fuzzies that are everywhere, and I'm just going to kind of press them in my finger and roll them and create a little pom-pom. And this is going to be the little pom-pom for his hat. Yes, waste not, want not. Look at that. Little fuzzy. Made it work. Yeah. Okay, so now he's super cute. Now we can start embellishing him. So now we're gonna go in and put his little nose back in, and it just screwed back in. And I'm going to hot glue his little eyes back on. I thought the eyes were really cute. I'm not gonna put his little mouth back on. I'm gonna leave him without a mouth, but that's okay. He can be however you want to be. You know, however you want to make him. Yeah. And so I just gotta add his other eye right here. And so now all I'm going to do now is give him a scarf, and I'm going to use some more of this mini tree skirt, and I really like it because it's that black and red buffalo check, and I like that the fact that it's got the fur stuff on it. So I'm just going to add some hot glue and bend down the edge to give it a nice finished look, and I'll do the same to the other side once I make sure it's going to fit just right. I don't want it, this is going to be a little bit too long, so I'm just going to kind of like fit it to see. And so now I know how much I need, and here I'll do the other end. Same thing, just fold it down, press it, and all I have to do is put it on him, and then we can start to assemble our little scene. So here I'll add a dab of glue underneath his little scarf, hold it down, add another dab of glue, and put down the other side as well. And look how cute, so cute. Okay, now we're going to start to assemble our little scene. And so here's my little snowman. He fits perfectly in my little shadow box. And now I'm just going to add a bead of glue and set him down inside the shadow box. And now I'll add the Christmas tree, and that is it. Look how cute. And I did put a little wood stem on the Christmas tree on the bottom. I just didn't show it, but look, here it is. Look how cute. And this is the end of my video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. And until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great, great day. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.